Help us reach 1,000 subscribers on our new channel Lesbian Stories. We hope you enjoy the story. February in Des Moines is a special kind of hell. I was nursing my third coffee, staring at the grainy surveillance photos spread across my desk, when Thompson walked in without knocking. Typical corporate type, expensive suit, forgettable face, and that particular brand of desperation that screams, "My career is on the line." "Ms. Moore, I need your expertise on a sensitive matter," he said, sliding into the chair across from me. "Industrial espionage. Someone's leaking our pharmaceutical research to competitors." I quoted him my daily rate, which made him flinch but didn't send him running. 20 minutes later, I had a new case and a fat retainer check. Thompson left me with a list of suspects, mostly research staff with access to sensitive data. One name caught my eye: Dr. Chen, lead researcher. That evening, trying to escape the mind-numbing task of background checks, I headed to Prairie Lights bookstore for their weekly poetry reading. The place was packed with the usual mix of college students and literary types, but someone stood out. A young Asian American woman with striking blue eyes and black hair, reading Emily Dickinson with such passion it made my chest tight. "Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me," she read, her voice carrying through the hushed room. I found myself moving closer, drawn not just to her words but to the way her hands moved as she spoke, the slight tremor in her voice when she reached the emotional peaks of the poem. After the reading, I found her at the wine and cheese table alone. "Your interpretation of Dickinson was different," I said, reaching for a cube of cheddar. She turned, those blue eyes catching mine. "Different good or different bad?" "Definitely good. I'm Jackie." "Danny," she smiled, extending her hand. "I needed this tonight. Work spin, complicated." We talked poetry, then life. She was a vet tech, struggling to keep her clinic afloat. "I'm actually starting to live stream tomorrow," she laughed, embarrassed. "Can you believe it? Me, doing cute animal videos for donations." I could have stayed there all night, watching her eyes light up when she talked about her work, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was thinking. But then she mentioned her father, Dr. Chen, the same name from my case file. My stomach dropped. This woman, who made Dickinson sound like a love letter to life itself, was my target's daughter. I should have walked away right then. Instead, I asked for her number, telling myself it was for the investigation. "For poetry discussions," she said, typing it into my phone. "For poetry," I agreed, knowing I was already in too deep. Walking home through the snowy streets, I tried to convince myself this was professional interest. But I knew better. 20 years as a PI had taught me to trust my gut, and right now it was telling me I was in trouble. Not because of the case, but because of the way my heart jumped when she smiled. Damn Thompson and his corporate espionage. Damn Emily Dickinson too while we're at it. But mostly, damn those blue eyes that saw right through me. I spent the next morning watching Danny's first live stream, telling myself it was surveillance. She was adorably awkward at first, fumbling with her phone while a one-eyed tabby cat named Captain tried to steal the show. "Hey everyone, welcome to Pause and Care, where we're trying to save our little clinic one cute moment at a time." Something about her authenticity struck a chord with viewers. By afternoon, clips of Captain booping her nose were trending locally. Her subscriber count jumped from 0 to 5,000 in hours. I watched her confidence grow with each new follower, each donation ping. Meanwhile, my investigation into her father was hitting walls. Dr. Chen's records were spotless, too spotless. Every time I dug deeper, I found perfectly filed reports and meticulously documented research. It was like someone had scrubbed his history clean. "You're distracted," my friend Maria said over lunch. "Spill." "It's nothing," I lied, stabbing at my salad. "Just a complicated case." "Honey, I've known you since the academy. This isn't your complicated case face. This is your I met someone face." Before I could argue, my phone buzzed. "Danny, emergency at the clinic. Need moral support. Bring coffee?" 20 minutes later, I was walking into controlled chaos. The heating system had failed during the worst snowstorm of the year. Danny was live streaming the evacuation of animals to the building's only heated room, her cheeks flushed from cold and stress. "Jackie!" She grabbed the coffee like a lifeline. "I'm sorry, I just needed someone who isn't freaking out about this. What can I do?" We spent hours moving animals, setting up temporary kennels. Her viewers ate it up, Donations poured in as they watched us struggle with the heat. Someone dubbed us the dynamic duo of Des Moines Animal Rescue. As night fell, the storm knocked out power across the city. We were alone in the dark, emergency generators humming, surrounded by sleeping animals. Danny was shivering despite her layers. "Here," I said, wrapping my coat around her shoulders. Our faces were close, too close. In the dim emergency lights, her eyes looked almost silver. "Why did you really come today?" she whispered. I should have told her then about her father, about Thompson, about everything. Instead, I kissed her. Or maybe she kissed me. It was soft at first, tentative, then something else entirely. Her hands found my waist, pulling me closer. When we broke apart, reality crashed back. I was investigating her father. She trusted me. This was wrong on so many levels. "Jackie?" Her voice was uncertain. "You're thinking too loud." "I should go," I said, stepping back. "The power's back, and your viewers will want to know everything's okay." "Don't." She caught my hand. "Stay, please." I stayed, watching her do one last livestream update. Her lips were still slightly swollen from our kiss, and all I could think was how badly I wanted to kiss her again. Her viewers noticed something different too. The comments were full of speculation about her mysterious helper. That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling fan and tried to figure out how to handle this mess. My phone buzzed with a text from Thompson. "Need update on Chen investigation tomorrow." Right. The investigation. Because somehow, between poetry readings and power outages, I'd forgotten I was supposed to be building a case against the father of the woman I couldn't stop thinking about. "Damn it," I muttered to my empty apartment. Captain's trending video was still playing on my phone, Danny's laugh in the background making my chest ache. I was in way over my head, and for the first time in my career, I had no idea how to solve this case without breaking something precious in the process. The thing about being a PI is that sometimes you find things you wish you hadn't, like the encrypted emails I discovered on Dr. Chen's backup server, or the offshore accounts that didn't match any legitimate research funding. Each revelation felt like a punch to the gut, knowing how it would affect Danny. Meanwhile, her livestream success was exploding. Pause and Care had gone from local phenomenon to viral sensation. The sight of Danny bottle feeding an orphaned kitten while humming lullabies had captured hearts nationwide. She'd even landed a spot on a morning show. "I can't believe this is happening," she told me one evening, curled up on my office couch. "We've raised enough for new equipment, maybe even hiring another vet." I nodded, trying to ignore the manila folder of evidence against her father burning a hole in my desk drawer. Instead, I focused on her smile, the way her fingers absently played with my hair. "Dad's acting weird, though," she continued. "He keeps asking about my new friends, especially you." My heart skipped. "What did you tell him?" "That you're a private investigator who loves poetry." She leaned closer, her breath warm against my neck. "And that you're terrible at hiding how you feel about me." Before I could respond, my burner phone buzzed, the one I use for surveillance alerts. Dr. Chen was on the move, heading to a location I'd flagged. "I have to go," I said, reluctantly pulling away. "Work emergency." Her eyes narrowed. "At 11 p.m.? It's complicated." "Everything with you is complicated, Jackie." I followed Dr. Chen to an abandoned warehouse outside town. He met with someone, a figure I couldn't quite identify through my camera lens. Money changed hands. Documents too. My phone lit up with a text from Danny. "Can't sleep, thinking about you." I was supposed to be focusing on surveillance, but all I could think about was her. Another text. "Come over after work?" The warehouse meeting ended. I had photos, evidence of whatever deal went down. It should have felt like progress. Instead, it felt like betrayal. I went to Danny's place, telling myself it was to gather more information. She opened the door in an oversized t-shirt, hair messy from tossing and turning. "I was starting to think you wouldn't come," she said, pulling me inside. The kiss was different this time, urgent, needy. We stumbled toward her bedroom, leaving a trail of clothes. I tried to memorize everything, the soft curve of her neck, the way she gasped when I touched her just right, how she whispered my name like a prayer. Morning found us tangled in sheets, her head on my chest. Reality came crashing back when my phone buzzed with Thompson's message. "Meeting today. Bring everything you have on Chen." Danny stirred, blinking up at me. Stay for breakfast? I can't work. Of course. She sat up, sheets pooling around her waist. You know, for someone who uncovers secrets for a living, you sure keep a lot of them. The truth hovered on my tongue. Instead, I kissed her forehead and got dressed, hating myself a little more with each button fastened. Outside, my personal phone lit up with notifications. Someone had recorded Danny and me walking hand in hand yesterday. The clip was trending. Internet's favorite vet found love. Comments poured in, most supportive, some not. Danny's follower count jumped again. She was officially a public figure now, which meant any scandal, like her father's illegal activities, would be headline news. I stared at the surveillance photos from last night, then at the trending video of us. Two worlds colliding, with Danny caught in the middle. The worst part? I was starting to forget which was more important, solving the case or protecting her heart. My burner phone buzzed again. Another meeting at the warehouse tonight. Another piece of evidence that would destroy everything Danny believed in. Damn it, I whispered, watching her latest live stream start up. She was smiling, but I could see the questions in her eyes. Questions I'd have to answer soon, one way or another. The meeting with Thompson went exactly as I'd feared. This is gold, he said, flipping through my photos. The board wants to move on this immediately. We'll need you to testify. I thought about Danny's face when she talked about her father, her hero, the brilliant researcher who worked late because he cared so much about helping people. I need more time, I said. You've had 3 weeks. Thompson's smile turned cold. Don't tell me you've gotten emotionally involved? Before I could respond, my phone exploded with notifications. Someone had leaked security footage from the clinic, Danny and me during the blackout, our first kiss. The internet was having a field day. Viral vet's secret romance revealed. Danny called immediately. Jackie, my livestream numbers are crazy. Everyone's asking about us. I could hear the mixture of panic and excitement in her voice. How do you want to handle this? Well, she paused. They already know. Maybe we just be us on camera? That's how I found myself being introduced to 100,000 live viewers as Danny's girlfriend. The chat exploded with questions and rainbow emojis. It felt surreal, watching Danny navigate this new reality with grace while I sat on evidence that could destroy her world. Your girlfriend's quite the catch, Dr. Chen said later that day, appearing suddenly in my office. My blood ran cold. A private investigator, wasn't it? The way he said it, he knew. Of course he knew. Stay away from my daughter, he continued, dropping a folder on my desk. Or these photos of your less-than-legal investigation methods go public. I looked at the photos, me breaking into his office, accessing restricted areas. He'd been watching me watch him. Does Danny know what you really do? He asked. That you were hired to destroy her father? Does she know what you really do? I shot back. He smiled sadly. Everything I've done has been for her. The clinic's real funding comes from somewhere after all. After he left, I sat in my darkened office, watching Danny's latest live stream. She was talking about us, eyes bright with happiness. Love just happens sometimes, she was saying. Even when you're not looking for it. My phone rang, Thompson again. The board meeting's tomorrow. Be ready to present everything. Another notification, Danny had tagged me in a post. A selfie of us. Caption reading, finally ready to share my happiness with the world. The comments were overwhelming. You two are goals. The way she looks at her, though? Our favorite vet deserves all the love. I closed my laptop, feeling sick. Tomorrow I'd have to choose my career and justice or the woman I was falling in love with. Either way, I'd lose something precious. That night, Danny came over. Dad's acting strange, she said, curled against me on the couch. He asked about your investigation work. Should I be worried? I kissed her temple, trying to memorize the moment. No, I lied. Everything's fine. She fell asleep in my arms, trusting and vulnerable. On TV, a late-night show was replaying clips from her live stream, the moment where she introduced me, both of us awkward and real. The hosts were charmed. This is the wholesome content we need. My burner phone buzzed, another text from Thompson. Remember what's at stake tomorrow. I looked down at Danny, peaceful in sleep, and made my decision. Tomorrow would change everything. I just hoped that somehow, when the dust settled, she'd understand why I did what I was about to do. The night stretched long as I planned my next move, the weight of Danny's head on my chest, both comfort and accusation. Outside, Des Moines slept under a fresh blanket of snow, as pure and unmarked as we'd been before all this began. I didn't go to the board meeting. Instead, I sat in my car outside Danny's clinic, watching her morning live stream through the window. She was checking on Captain, unaware that her world was about to implode. My phone hadn't stopped ringing. Thompson, his lawyers, even some reporters who'd caught wind of the story. I ignored them all, focusing on the single text I'd sent Danny. "We need to talk in person." She met me in her office, still wearing the silly cat ear headband her viewers loved. "Jackie, what's wrong?" I pulled out the files, all of them, the warehouse photos, the offshore accounts, everything. "I was hired to investigate your father," I said, the words tasting like ash. "He's been selling research data to competitors." She stared at the evidence, her face draining of color. "How long?" "Since before we met." The silence that followed was deafening. Outside, I could hear her live stream still running, chat notifications pinging cheerfully. So everything. US, was it all for the investigation? No. I reached for her hand, but she pulled away. "That's why I'm here instead of at the board meeting. I couldn't." "Get out." Her voice was ice. "Now." I left the files and walked out, past confused staff members, and through the chat comments asking where their favorite PI had gone. In my car, I watched her end the live stream abruptly, leaving thousands of viewers wondering what had happened. My phone buzzed, a text from Dr. Chen. "You made your choice. Now watch what happens." Within hours, photos of me breaking into his office went public. My PI license was suspended pending investigation. Past clients started calling, questioning my methods. 15 years of reputation, gone in an afternoon. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst was watching Danny's next live stream, seeing her try to smile through obvious pain. Her viewers noticed. "Is everything okay? Where's Jackie? Did something happen?" Then came the anonymous tip to a local news station about the clinic's funding. Danny had to suspend operations while investigators combed through the books. Her loyal viewers rallied, starting a GoFundMe, but the damage was done. I sat in my dark apartment, watching her follower count drop as people moved on to the next internet sensation. My own face was plastered across local news. "Private investigator under investigation." Maria showed up with whiskey and sympathy. "You really messed up this time, honey." "I know." I poured another drink. "But I'd do it again." "Because you love her?" I didn't answer. On my phone, Danny's last public post still glowed, taking a break from streaming. "Thank you all for understanding." The comments were a mix of support and speculation. "Stay strong." "What happened with Jackie?" "Don't let the haters win." Late that night, unable to sleep, I drove past the clinic. The lights were on, and through the window, I could see Danny working late, probably trying to save what she could of her business. Captain sat in her lap, loyal as ever. My burner phone buzzed one last time, Dr. Chen. "Satisfied with what you've done to my daughter?" I watched Danny wipe her eyes, straighten her shoulders, and get back to work. She was stronger than either of us had given her credit for. In my rearview mirror, I caught a glimpse of myself, the tough PI who never let cases get personal, now undone by a woman who read poetry to sick animals and believed in happy endings. The snow started falling again, covering the city in fresh white. Somewhere in the distance, sirens wailed. I sat there until Danny finally turned off the lights, watching her walk to her car alone. This was what doing the right thing felt like, losing everything that mattered while the world moved on, indifferent to the wreckage left behind. 3 days after everything fell apart, I got an unexpected visitor. "Your pie work wasn't the only thing being investigated," Maria said, dropping a thick file on my coffee table. She'd kept her detective badge when I'd left the force. "Someone's been looking into Dr. Chen's competitors, too." The file revealed a larger conspiracy. Dr. Chen had been gathering evidence against a pharmaceutical cartel. His sales were carefully orchestrated leaks designed to expose their illegal testing practices. My phone lit up with a news alert. Rival clinic attempts hostile takeover of Pause and Care amid scandal. The same company tied to the cartel. I was halfway to Danny's clinic before I realized I had no right to help. But then I saw the crowd outside, her loyal viewers, holding signs and live streaming their support. And there was Danny, standing her ground against men in expensive suits. "The clinic stays independent," she was saying, Captain perched protectively on her shoulder. "Miss Chen," one suit smiled condescendingly, "given your father's situation, you might want to reconsider." "Actually," I stepped forward, heart pounding, "she shouldn't." Every phone turned to film me, "because I have proof that your company has been trying to silence Dr. Chen's research into your illegal practices." Danny's eyes met mine, hurt, confused, but also curious. I handed her Maria's file. "Live stream this," I told her. "All of it." She hesitated only a moment before going live to her thousands of followers. "Hey everyone," her voice shook slightly. "Truth time." For the next hour, we laid out everything: the cartel's violations, her father's undercover work, my investigation that uncovered both sides. The suits retreated, making threats about lawyers. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked when the cameras stopped rolling. "I couldn't risk them knowing you had any information. And then I fell in love with you, and I couldn't bear to hurt you." "So you thought lying was better?" "No, A commotion interrupted us. Dr. Chen was being led into the clinic in handcuffs, but he was smiling. "The evidence is all public now," he said. "That's all I needed." He turned to me. "Thank you for choosing her over the case. You proved me wrong about you." Danny looked between us, realization dawning. "Dad, you knew?" "I knew Jackie would either expose everything or protect you. Either way, the truth would come out." The next few hours were chaos. Reporters swarmed the clinic. Danny's livestream numbers hit record highs as she shared the full story. Her viewers started a hashtag campaign that went viral, #SavePauseAndCare. In the midst of it all, she pulled me into her office. Captain immediately claimed his spot on my lap, purring forgiveness. "I'm still angry," she said, leaning against her desk. "I know. You broke my trust. I know that too." She was quiet for a moment, watching me pet Captain. "But you also gave up everything to protect me, and you helped expose the truth." "I'd do it again." "Even the lying part?" "No," I met her eyes. "That I'd do differently." She moved closer, not quite touching me. "I read somewhere that trust is like glass. Once it's broken, it can never be the same," I finished. "No," she touched my cheek. "But sometimes, what you create from the pieces is more beautiful than what you started with." Outside, her viewers were still chanting support. The clinic's phones rang constantly with donations and declarations of solidarity. Dr. Chen would face charges, but as a whistleblower rather than a criminal. "So," she said softly, "want to help me rebuild?" Captain headbutted my chin as if adding his vote. Through the window, I could see snow starting to fall again, covering all the old tracks, ready for new footprints. "Yes," I whispered, hoping she could hear everything else I couldn't say yet. Her hand found mine, tentative but certain, like glass being carefully pieced back together, stronger at the seams. Trust rebuilds slowly, like snow accumulating one flake at a time. Over the next few weeks, Danny and I created new routines. I'd bring coffee during her morning streams, staying just off camera until she was ready to share us with her audience again. She'd help me sort through case files, her fresh perspective catching details I'd missed. But shadows from our past weren't done with us yet. One morning, I found my office door unlocked, walls plastered with photos, Danny's daily routine, her vulnerable moments, even shots through her apartment window. My first instinct was to handle it alone, protect her. My second was to remember what secrets had cost us. I called her immediately. "Someone's targeting you," I said when she arrived. "The pharmaceutical cartel isn't happy about their exposure." She studied the photos, hands trembling slightly. "What's the plan?" "We go public. Your viewers, your platform, it's our best protection." Her live stream that afternoon was different. No cute animals, just truth. "Someone's trying to scare us," she told her audience. "So let's show them what happens when you mess with this community." Within hours, #ProtectPauseAndCare was trending. Viewers organized volunteer security patrols. Local news picked up the story. The clinic became a symbol of standing up to corporate bullying. Then came the email, "Back off, or the next attack won't be just photos." I knew that style, Thompson. He'd been playing both sides, feeding information to the cartel. The evidence trail led straight to him, but proving it would be dangerous. "We're not backing down," Danny said that night, curled in my office chair with Captain standing guard. "But we do this together." We set the trap carefully. Danny announced a special late-night stream, promising revelations about the clinic's future. Instead, we caught Thompson breaking in, live streaming the whole thing to thousands of witnesses. "You really think your little internet fans can protect you?" he snarled, not realizing he was on camera. "The cartel owns this town." "Not anymore." I stepped from the shadows, Maria and her police unit right behind me. "And you just confessed to thousands of people." The arrest went viral. Clips of Thompson's confession spread faster than cat videos. The pharmaceutical cartel's stock plummeted as more whistleblowers came forward. But the real victory was smaller, more personal. That night, after the police left and the adrenaline faded, Danny took my hand. "Move in with me," she said suddenly. "What?" "Life's too short for maybes. I love you, Jackie Moore, even when you're being overprotective and stubborn." "I was thinking of retiring from pie work," I admitted. "Maybe starting something new, with you." She smiled, that same smile that had captured me at the poetry reading. "A detective agency with built-in therapy cats? Could be interesting." "Speaking of interesting," she glanced at her phone. "The internet has opinions about us again." The live stream comments were flooding in. "Power couple goals. From scandal to heroes. This is better than any crime show." Dr. Chen called from prison, voice proud. "You did good, kid, both of you." Later, watching Danny sleep with Captain curled between us, I realized something. In all my years as a PI, I'd thought justice meant exposing secrets. But sometimes, justice is protecting the right ones, and knowing which truths need to be shared. My phone buzzed, Maria sending the official case closure files, the last piece of our old story ending, making room for something new. Outside, Des Moines was quiet under the stars. Tomorrow we'd start building our new agency. Tomorrow, Danny would stream again, sharing our next chapter with the world. Tomorrow held countless possibilities. But tonight, in this moment, everything that mattered was right here. Sometimes the best investigations lead you exactly where you need to be, even if it's not where you plan to go. Spring came to Des Moines like a long-awaited exhale. The Moore and Chen Detective Agency sign went up on a storefront right next to Pause and Care, connecting the two businesses with a custom-built cat walkway that our social media followers had crowdfunded. Ready for the grand opening stream? Danny adjusted the camera while Captain supervised from his new office throne, a ridiculously plush cat bed that sat right between our desks. "Still feels surreal," I admitted, straightening the framed photo of us at the poetry reading where we'd first met. Next to it hung our PI licenses, mine reinstated, hers newly minted. The stream started with record viewers. Everyone wanted to see how the viral vet and her PI girlfriend had merged their worlds. They weren't disappointed, especially when Dr. Chen joined via prison video call to officially cut the virtual ribbon. "To new beginnings," he said, looking healthier than he had in years. His whistleblower testimony had shortened his sentence significantly, and his research was finally being used for good. Our first case came in live on stream, a local shelter investigating suspicious adoptions. Danny handled the client interview while I took notes, our different styles complementing perfectly. The viewers loved watching us work, dubbed us the Pause and Probable Cause team. "You've got to tell when you're onto something," Danny said later, as we walked home through the warming evening. "Your left eyebrow does this little dance." "You've got one too," I squeezed her hand. "You play with your necklace?" She touched the small silver key pendant I'd given her when we moved in together. "Speaking of tells, there's something I want to ask you." She led me to Prairie Lights bookstore, now closed but lit from within. Through the window, I could see familiar faces, Maria, our staff, even Captain looking regal on a bookshelf. "What's going on?" Danny pulled out a small notebook, worn and familiar. "Remember this? I've been writing in it since the night we met. Poetry, thoughts, dreams about our future." She opened it to a marked page. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. "Our first conversation," I whispered. "I thought it was about death then, but it's not. It's about fate, about journeys, about finding someone who makes you pause and realize they're your destination." She took a deep breath. "Jackie Moore, will you marry me?" Inside, everyone was filming. Of course they were. Our whole story had been shared with the world. Why stop now? But this moment felt private, sacred, even with thousands watching through phone screens. Yes, I said, voice catching. Although technically we're still trespassing. She laughed, pulling out a key. Not anymore. I bought the evening slot for poetry readings. Thought we could make it a regular thing, pie poetry nights, cold cases. The celebration inside was perfect. Champagne, poetry readings, and Captain knocking over exactly one empty glass for dramatic effect. Our phones buzzed constantly with congratulations from viewers around the world. Late that night, back home, Danny went live one last time. Hey everyone, thank you for being part of our story. But right now, we're going offline to just be. She turned off her phone, then mine. Outside, Des Moines twinkled beneath a clear sky. Inside, Captain purred from his perch, watching us dance slowly in our kitchen to no music. Happy? She asked, head on my shoulder. More than. I kissed her temple. Though I still can't believe you proposed with Emily Dickinson. Well, she smiled against my neck. Someone once told me my interpretation was different. Definitely good different. Tomorrow would bring new cases, new challenges, new adventures. But tonight was just us, writing our own poetry in the quiet moments between heartbeats, our story still streaming into forever, one love-filled frame at a time. Because sometimes the best mysteries are the ones that lead you home.